Hello? Are you there?
What do you do when all the vans in your budget are completely out of reach? Do you do something insane? You buy a van and take the engine out, right? Does a home on wheels need an engine?
I'm Ryan and this is Jenny. We have a plan to travel the world. We were desperate to get out of the rat race, so we made a crazy decision.
So for those new to the channel, we bought a broken van to convert into a camper. When we were looking for it, every van that we wanted was more than double our budget.
How did we end up here, standing in front of this beautiful disaster? So, here's what we wanted. A Mercedes Sprinter. It had to be under 8 years old to meet European emission standards. Less than 200,000 miles, so we could sell it later. That was non-negotiable.
But every van in an average condition was more than double our budget. So what did we have to do?
We turned into Matt Armstrong. We found a van on eBay. It had a suspected blown head gasket. Under 5k delivered. Sweet.
Ryan thought, yes, we can do it. I, on the other hand, had my doubts. I thought we were crazy. As the van arrived, we popped the bonnet and we saw oil in the water. It started, but you could smell the exhaust fumes weren't right.
So we took it to a garage where they ran a toxin test and confirmed it was most likely the head gasket that was blown. But they couldn't do the work as the van was too big.
We called around. Nobody wanted to take on this big of a job. The engine had to come out to fix it.
No mechanic would touch it. So what do you do when nobody wants to help? You make a crazy decision.
We decided to do it ourselves. Because why not, right? If you've ever been told something is impossible, this was that moment for us. We had no workshop, no experience, no safety net, just a dodgy engine crane and a driveway. And honestly, no clue about what we were doing. But we knew one thing. We were going to make this work, even if it nearly broke us in the process.
So, welcome to the most professional engine removal ever, performed by two DIYers. At the beginning of December, we started taking the engine out. We saw oil all over the gearbox. So, it obviously had a major oil leak.
There were so many days that we got stuck and we didn't know how to continue. So many days that we felt like we were failing and picking ourselves back up. Every day we had to force ourselves to be out in the cold with no clue of what we were doing.
Some days we wanted to quit. With brakes, it took us 11 weeks. But finally, the engine was out through grit and determination. Once the engine was by the side of the road on the pavement next to the driveway, remember, no workshop.
We pulled it apart, piece by piece, trying to understand what went wrong. The EGR pipe was cracked and had a snapped bolt in the timing chain cover.
We got to work on the engine's head. We took the injectors out, we took the head off, we went into stripping the parts off around the engine's head.
And after many head scratches, sleepless nights, research and many conversations towards the end of January, we decided to send the main engine to the engine shop, or an engine shop should I add, that we found in the middle of nowhere, so that they could test all the parts and replace anything needed.
We wanted to get the main bearings checked, the injectors sent to be tested, piston rings checked. It turns out 3 of the injectors failed a spray pattern test, so a full set of 4 was recommended. The cylinders were rebored.
Got new pistons, new piston rings, new main bearings and new bottom end bearings. The crankshaft was polished, everything was cleaned.
New gaskets all round and new timing chain kit, and the engine was rebuilt. While we waited, we scrubbed every part, checked every bolt, prepared for the moment we could finally put it all back together. I'm not gonna lie, it's been a labour of love. At times it's been really, really difficult to get dirty and get muck everywhere, and you know, to try and get everything clean and ready for the engine. On the other hand, I've really enjoyed it. I've enjoyed spending time with Jenny. I've enjoyed getting everything clean and ready, and the actual result afterwards is the bit that we all look forward to, I think. The process, I don't know, some enjoy, some might not. I'm really looking forward to the engine going back in. I'm really looking forward to hitting the road and knowing that that engine is done and done right. It's been professionally rebuilt. It's been cleaned vigorously, all the parts. As long as it all goes back together nicely and neatly and properly, we are great to go for many, many, many miles and many day trips, many videos in the future. I think everyone will understand that it's always a concern putting it all back together. You have parts everywhere, you know, some parts are labels. We dropped the engine off in the machine shop and it had a lot of the ancillary parts still bolted to the engine, the turbo, many, many other things. And what the engine shop haven't done in the quote or in the job is they haven't cleaned or refitted any of these parts to the engine. So I'm imagining bolts everywhere and parts everywhere, and I've got to look up what all these parts are, where they go on the engine, how they bolt. I don't know what size bolts, if where they go. So I'm a bit nervous. I'm sure Jenny is too, but putting it all back together, it's gonna be difficult for sure. There's a lot of wiring, the wiring loom. We've labelled some parts of the wiring loom, sort of hoping that the clips fit in the right holes that they're for and not in other holes for the parts of it that we haven't labelled. Otherwise, we need to get a wiring diagram. So if anyone has got a wiring diagram for a Mercedes Sprinter W907, please do send it across to us. The injectors will be refitted by the people building the engine. We need to fit all the fuel lines and all the ancillary parts to the outside of the engine, all the air intake, the exhaust manifold, all the gaskets have got to be right, the bolts have got to be right. Once that's all put together on the engine, then we'll put the engine back in. Please, please, please follow us to watch and see how we get on and to see if we can actually do it. Remember, we are DIYers. We have minimal mechanics experience previous to this.
What do you think? Do you think we're bonkers? Would you do it yourself? And now let's get back to some more cleaning.
Do you think it's too much to clean all these parts so much? Or do you think it's justified, based on the fact it's all going to be attached to a newly rebuilt engine? We started with the air intake that goes just below one of the bonnet grills. Using just warm soapy water, we didn't get them perfect, just good enough. We used some brake and clutch cleaner to get this the best we could. There were so many additional parts to clean that we had to divide and conquer. It was nice to just see some white where it's supposed to be white instead of black with oil all over everywhere.
I think we can get a mechanic's hat, right? What do you think? Oh, this is actually hard work. I would be so happy, you know, when we've got the van on the road and all this engine stuff, it's over and done with. We are so close to the end. I'm cleaning this engine bay to the best of my ability, and although it won't be completely spotless, it's going to look so much better. And obviously with the new built engine, it's just going to be ready for it to come back. We are going to feel so proud that we did all we could for the van to run smoothly, hopefully not breaking down anywhere, and it's going to look its best, inside and out. For those of you that love cleaning, what do you think? Would you clean this spotless? Would you make it completely White? What would you use? I'm curious.
So I'm getting into clean. I've cleaned half of this, but just want to make it look reasonably presentable.
Scrap, scrap, scrap.
Yeah, exactly. That's how it feels. Obviously, it hasn't got to be perfect at all because it's on the outside of the van. It will pick up all the dust anyway. But you know, we'll do it. We've taken the engine out, so we might as well do it again. Okay, so that's that. The inside. There we go. Right, so red. I will clean a little bit. Far from perfect, but who cares? That's that.
And now what? We have a date for the engine to come back from the machine shop.
Drum roll, please. Our engine will be ready mid-April. Next step, renting a van, picking it up and wrestling with the same terrible engine crane to get it back in.
But this is just the beginning. In part 2, we'll show you if we can actually put this thing back together or if we fail miserably. We'll also share all the costs involved.
Will we succeed or will we end up with a very expensive shed? Subscribe to find out. Thanks for watching.